Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome back to the Redshirt Report, the series where we go team by team through every single Division I football or basketball program. Today we're diving into the Air Force Falcons. Alright, so let's get a little bit into their football history. Air Force football has been doing its thing since the late 1950s. They're a service academy, so they got a different kind of vibe. They're more of a smaller school, they're disciplined, and they still run the old school triple option offense, and it still confuses some teams today. Under Coach Fisher DeBerry in the 80s and 90s, they were honestly pretty dominant for a stretch. They made over 25 bowl appearances, and they compete annually for the Commanders in Chiefs Trophy against Army and Navy, which they actually won that trophy 3 times in the last 5 years. Alright, let's get more into the recent seasons that Air Force has been having. So last year they started 1-7, which could have been where they wanted to be at the start of the season. But the last few games they went on a 4-game winning streak, eventually ending the season at 5-7. For 2024, they got a lot of their big talent coming back, and the fact that the triple option is still a nightmare for some teams to prep for, I would expect a better season than last year, somewhere around a 6-8 win type of season, and maybe a bowl game if things go smoothly, and they can carry their momentum from last year to this year. Alright, so now it's time to talk about the basketball history. Basketball's been a little quieter for Air Force. They only had a couple tournament appearances in the early 2000s, including a really fun 2006 team that played tough defense and moved the ball well, and ended up having a 23-8 season. But overall, it's been tough sledding in the Mountain West, which is honestly one of the best mid-major basketball conferences in the country. But this is a program that's always trying to build slowly and develop new players at all times. They don't really get high-profile recruits, but the recruits that they do have, they play hard and with a purpose. Coach Joe Scott is back for a second stint at Air Force, and he's trying to recapture that early 2000s energy. If they can stay healthy and find some shoot, they could make a big name for themselves in the Mountain West in the upcoming seasons. Alright, a couple fun facts. Air Force is based in Colorado Springs, Colorado, which means they play at a very high elevation, which is almost 7,000 feet above sea level. The stadium is called Falcon Stadium, and it has a pretty nice mountain backdrop in the back. All the athletes that play at Air Force are also military cadets. They train, study, play sports, and then go on to serve the U.S. Air Force after graduation. Alright, so that's the breakdown on Air Force. Let me know in the comments, do you think Air Force has the best football program among the service academies? And if not, which probably not, when do you think they could manage that? Alright guys, thanks for watching the Red Zone Report. I'll see you guys in the next one.